so that's awesome. I just talked for a good 4 minutes and I didn't press the record button. So it's now about 10 till 5. I got going at a quarter till. Anyways, I'm moving. The Trail Angels yesterday, the Nudes Tramway, Old Yeller, man, they made a huge difference because of how bad this landscape is. It's so desert. There's usually like big old brush you can hide under, but there wasn't even that. I mean, even the Joshua trees that were around were just like spindly, like tall, but like single trunk, nothing to hide behind for shade. So those pop-ups made all the difference in the world. I'm hoping and praying that this next cache has shade. So if everything goes right, there's a pretty decent climb. Actually, there's like 5 of them. Everything goes right, I'll be there before noon. So this heat is ridiculous. I almost said ridiculous. It's probably 70 degrees right now. There's a little bit of a breeze, which is helping. But the hardest part about getting up, it's not like really like the lack of sleep. I did have a hard time falling asleep. People were talking until like after 9, which I try to go to bed around 7:30 out here. And then it's hot, so my alarm goes off at 3:30 and it's finally cool enough to be sleeping well. And instead of sleeping, I got to get up. And that was kind of the hardest part of this morning, but I'm going to get moving and walking, and I will share the cache with you guys later. I probably won't show the desert because you've seen the desert. I've seen the desert. The desert's seen the desert. We're done with the desert. This is just in case I ever want to look back on the desert and reminisce. That road is where I started this morning, kind of like in the top of the saddle there. And then that's where I'm going. So thank goodness it's still desert. Wouldn't want to miss it. You know how when you're commuting into work or leaving work, certain times of the year, you're like right into the sun. It's just blinding to you. Well, I can tell you that I am traveling due east because that's the direction I'm going. It actually doesn't look that bad in the camera, but I'm basically head down, keeping my visor down so I can see. And it was nice because I didn't even have my hat on until, that's why I didn't take a picture of myself, but I didn't have a hat on until exactly 6 a.m. when that sun peeked over. But now I really can't see what, I mean, you guys, it looks good. I should walk backwards and use the camera. That would work. But in real life, I can hardly see the trail right now. Talk to you later. If there's any Europeans watching, I just hit 1,000 kilometers. That's cool. So in case you're planning on any trips to the desert and you're wondering when it becomes hellaciously hot, it would be at 9:30. So at 9:30, you're start cooking, and like even the bottle that's on the front of my pack there turns into hot water. So 9:30. If you're gonna do anything in the desert, do it before 9:30. Pro tip. Hello everybody, it is 11:30 in the morning. I've been here for about half an hour. Let's see if you can see through the Joshua tree. You see some blue. Those are water bottles, 5-gallon water bottles. That's another water cache. So I made it. I already have my tent set up there. I'm staking my place because there's a rock right next to it, and that's going to be a sunbreak. So hopefully I can get to bed early. I got here, and Linda and Paulette from actually home, Reno and Carson Valley, were here, and I was like, hey, do you happen to have ice? Can I throw a water bottle in there? Because the water is just hot. It's just sitting out in in the sun. And they were like, yeah, sure. So they had a small cooler. They filled it with ice and put 4 water bottles in. But what they're doing is what they're doing is they're basically like a chase vehicle for people that are hiking this section of the PCT, but they're using day packs, so the ladies have all the other camping gear, so they like hopscotch in front of them and then they wait for them to walk towards them. So that's a pretty good deal. But one of them is not feeling well. The heat, I'm sure, has a big factor in it, so they got to go find her and pick her up now. So they're heading out. But I got to cool down 4 water bottles probably for 15 minutes or so. And that's made all the difference in the world. They also donated a Diet Coke for me, so I drank that thing down in, I don't know, less than a minute. It's just so good to get anything cold is so good, so tasty. So, but I'm here for the day. I'll just be finding shade and hanging out until tonight. The mountains that I was showing you, I'll do it again here in a second. So believe it or not, this is the first time I've been alone, and I can't remember when. Other than when I'm actually hiking. Usually I get somewhere to stop and there's already people. But I'm kind of laid out underneath this tree here. I'll slow down, sorry. I already showed you where my camp spot is, but give you a better perspective. That's kind of cool. There's a Joshua tree and my tent. And then, so I'm actually, like, this is the trail right here. Here, I'll take you on the trail. There, you're on the trail. And then now you can see the water cache. So I went 14.9 miles today in like 6.5 hours. And I had to because I was so thirsty when I got here. Now I keep 750 milliliters, so not quite a liter, as like an emergency in my expandable pocket in the very back. It's like if I need water, I still have that much. So I tried really hard not to use it, and I didn't have to, but you get so thirsty. Like when I'm here, I've had like a liter of water already. So all those cool liters, I put 3 liters and then a 750 mil. I'm gonna drink all of that, and then I'm gonna have to have hot water for the rest of the day. But this guy, his trail name is Devilfish, the guy that does these water caches, and he's pretty secretive. He won't talk about like what he does or did for a living, how he gets the water or anything like that. But there's those, and then those are all full. Yeah, there's tons of water. And then there's like a first aid kit in here, and biting flies, and batteries. So I'm actually using a battery. I'm gonna charge up my phone. There's books. There's a library here. So you have a library, a first aid kit, and batteries. So I'm gonna charge up my phone and some of my peripherals, I think, while I'm doing nothing. And then there's a place to put empties, which I don't think anybody's been doing that. So I'm gonna go do this really quick. Put all the empties in that. But yeah, so that's kind of looking back. You can kind of see my tent just kind of poking out a little bit. The white dome behind the Joshua tree. So kind of got to look for like a shelter from, like, I don't care about wind, but from the sun. As soon as I can get any kind of a shadow, I'm doing much better. So that's why I chose that spot. The only other place I have to worry about is like where I'm going to go use the bathroom. So, trail problems. Yeah, and then I wanted to show this. So the trail goes that way,
and you can't really see the lines, but basically that mountain right there, you climb up it. So there's switchbacks going back and forth on that thing. So I'll be hitting the top of that tomorrow. And I honestly, it's 1,600 feet of elevation. I looked before I was talking to you guys. I actually think I'm going to get up at 3 instead of 3:30 so that I can do this, because that's just disgusting. I'd rather get it knocked out before the sun shows up, and I kind of have that have the top, and it's I can't even show you the top rate from here because it's around the corner, but it's 4 miles, so it's going to be a 4 mile, almost 5 mile climb. It's 4 point something, but it's almost a 5 mile climb. So that's going to take me I'm going to budget 3 hours for it. It should take me 2.5 hours of hiking uphill. And, you know, I'll break down and I'll get water really quick, and then I'll start going. But that's another hard way to kind of warm up, is going uphill. But I'd rather do it in the beginning and get it out of the way. So that's what I'm looking at, is just get it done. And that's what I'm going to do. And hopefully, because looks like there's some smaller trees, juniper and stuff, maybe I'll get back into some trees. That would be lovely. Good evening. So I actually don't know if I did a wrap up or not. Earlier, I think I just talked about a couple of things. So I did 14.9 miles, and I'm at mile 632 exactly. So I'm good with that. It's hard because I've been sitting here all day long, but it's hot. So anytime I think about doing something else, I realize that I can't do 15 miles. You know, I'd have to carry 5 liters of water. So I'm not going to do that. But this is the end of day 46. That's what we're going to go with. Day 46. So I'm going to be getting up early tomorrow, and I will see you guys then. Have a good one.